From a multiplicity of undisclosed locations at a miscellany of heights above sea level situated in various geographical formations, it's time for the long shot, come hell or high water. Tonight's episode, 2 Degrees of Phil Collins. And now, please welcome your host, Sean Conroy. Folks, welcome to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. I am your host. My name is Sean Conroy. With me today on the show, the wandering wizard of wandering, Mr. Joe Wagner is here. The doyen of delight, Amber
retired,
is here.
Hello.
The proprietor of the Dynasty Typewriter Theater, Jamie Flam, also here. So here we are again. We decided
Number two.
I don't like that. That sounds disparaging. Joe, your microphone is not even anywhere near you, so we can't.
The second voyage.
Yeah, we decided to get the band back together and see what happens. So I hope people are excited because we have a lot of things in store for the next 13 seasons.
You sound excited, Sean.
I just had to teach a class for 3 hours. I'm exhausted.
Oh my God.
I was about to say, are we all tired in some way?
I feel like you are in a different room from where you are right now, Joe.
I'm sorry.
Your microphone.
We didn't have to record at this time. You were the one who selected this time.
I just feel like it's
swamping yourself.
For everybody. No, I mean I did some blow. It should kick in very soon.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, hello.
It's the extended release. Blow.
Is that better? Hello. Check one.
Slightly.
All right. Sorry. I'll be louder.
You live in a bottle? I don't know. It sounds.
I don't know what it is. Doing the same thing as last time.
Yeah, well, we'll try not to. I mean, I feel like this is the age we live in where all you do is talk about like what your background is and how your audio is. So we'll try not to focus too much on that. Let's get into it. We have a lot to get to today, I assume. I don't know. And I guess we'll find out. So why don't we get into our segment that we like to call checking in? Let's find out what's going on. First of all, before we even get to that, how do you guys feel about starting this up again? Whoa, that was a long time.
It's just for. I think we all know how we feel because we all messaged each other afterwards in some way or emailed. I had a great time.
Yeah. You did.
Sounds like we are breaking up. It doesn't.
What is happening?
It sounds like we hate each other. We're just tired or disoriented or something.
All right. Well, let's get into checking in. Let's start with. Sorry, go ahead.
I had one thing to say about that.
Yeah.
I truly didn't realize what was happening last time because when the podcast came out, I sent the link to my parents. I didn't listen to it. And then they said that they watched it. And I was like, it was filmed? Like, I had no idea.
And I thought that was the only format that was going to be released. I thought the intention was to film it and release it as a...
It's like, oh, I should brush my hair.
I was only able to watch like the first 3 minutes and then I fell asleep because I just turned over on the couch.
A ringing endorsement from Joe Wagner. No, I watched a little bit of it. It was very frustrating to me because I was just picking at my face the entire time. And I was like, that is disgusting. You know?
Oh.
It really grossed me out.
What were you picking at?
Nose. Mm-hmm. Mostly nose, nostrils.
Mostly nose.
Inside the nose.
No ears. I've been doing a lot. I need to buy Q-tips. That's like one of the essentials that I have to put on my like get list.
Well, save that for your checking in, Joe.
What
Leave
else is on that
something
get
for
list?
us.
I know. If we're going to be doing get lists, I got plenty of checking in to do.
All right. Well, let's start with. We're going to do a little checking in. So let's start today with Amber checking in.
Checking in. Officially, I am on vacation.
Whoa.
I took Monday through Friday next week off. So Friday was my last day, and I haven't taken. I took, I think, 2 days off all year, besides getting my appendix out. So I'm very much looking forward to it. We rented a house in Joshua Tree. We're leaving on Monday. We're going to be there the whole week. I'm excited to not be within these four walls that I also work and live and eat in, and just spread out and stretch out. And yeah, I mean, it's a tough time right now. The pandemic feels like the numbers are at an ultimate scary place. So it feels weird to be excited and happy for something.
If you believe the numbers.
Oh boy. Someone's watching Fox News again.
Should we take an informal
again? What do you mean again? I never stopped.
What if we just take an informal low show poll right now and just say who does believe the numbers are scary?
I believe they're scary.
I am.
I mean, I'm not afraid of numbers, but yeah, this is fucked up.
Well, I'm sorry, that's right. The baseline was just believe that the numbers are correct.
I mean, it's not the numbers themselves, it's what they represent.
Real. Right.
You know, the deaths that they represent.
It is very bad. As a time capsule of an episode, it is very bad in LA right now with coronavirus. It doubled in a week. It got worse.
Since we're I don't mean to interrupt because I want to find out who else is going. Like, how many you're going with a lot of people to the Joshua Tree, right, Amber?
No, it's just me and Jeff.
Is it one of those influencer parties that you guys? You're like hanging with Jake Paul.
Please cancel me.
I'm not in LA right now, but definitely while I was there, I would be up in my neighborhood at like midnight, just out for a walk or whatever, and I kept seeing like gangs of people coming in and out of houses up there, and I was just like, and this was a month ago, but that's how this thing works. That's why it's so tricky, is because people don't understand the connection between what they do now and what happens a month from now.
There was a party across the street on Wednesday, and it felt like perfect heightening of grouchiness. It's like, don't have a party on a Wednesday in November during a pandemic.
You motherfucker.
But it's weird to look down on parties and people having fun. Like, that is one of the many things that I hate about the pandemic. It's like, I'm not against fun. I like fun. Don't make me have to be on the, like, I'm the enemy of fun. I would like to have fun again someday in the future. Therefore, please hold off now so everyone can join in the fun soon. You know what I mean? Let me ask,
are any of the people having the parties, do you wish that you were at that party?
Everything. I mean, every time we watch TV and it's like Vegas, both Jeff and I audibly are like, oh man, I want to go to Vegas. Jeff hates Vegas. And I've never been there with him. And we're like sentimental about going to Vegas, like just doing anything. Anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. And I was reading a thing today about how, I mean, obviously this is just going to get worse and worse, but the people.
No, as soon as it's January 1st, it's going away. It's
November 4th, right? Wasn't it November 4th it was all going to end? No, but
I keep thinking about how people are going to freak out like the 1 week before the vaccine starts being distributed, or like before they find out they know someone who's gotten the vaccine, that time where people start to realize how long it's going to take.
Right. Because it's
we're not even there yet.
Process of you have to get 2 shots and wait weeks in between. And
right. But what I was going to say is, Amber, to your point about how people are like, oh, you're so anti-fun.
Right. I don't know if anyone's saying that, but I feel I am.
No, my social media was blowing up. People are very cancel Amber right now.
Not Amber specifically, but people like Amber and who she represents,
Yes.
This is such a culture war issue at this point. But what the thing I was reading today was saying, it's going to get so much worse because this will become part of the war on Christmas. In other words, this is another opportunity for the left to dictate that Christmas should not be a thing. That's the reason that they're saying that people.
The war on Christmas isn't a real thing. Christmas has never gone anywhere. It's not threatened. It's such bullshit.
It's bigger than ever.
I know. It's such invented oppression. It's wild.
It is the driving force, not the war on Christmas, but the everyone's against us is the driving force behind the right in this country at this point.
Which is hilarious because those people actually are against large populations. Yeah. They legitimately are against those people.
The irony is deep. Yes.
And I was going to say too, it feels like it was one of the earliest forms of propaganda. Even pre-Trump, I feel like in the 2010s, I was already hearing about it was a Fox thing.
2004, 2005, 2006 is when it got.
I swear to God, I heard about it 2001.
I just remember it being.
It's been going on forever.
Yeah, I remember it being one of those first times where I was like, "What are they talking? What are they talking?
What are they talking about? No one says you can't have Christmas.
Right?
It's just happy holidays, right?"
I swear to God, some motherfucker says Merry Christmas to me, I'm going to fucking deck him.
But the idea of acknowledging...
I'll throw a soup can at him right in his face.
A bag of soup.
Just the idea of acknowledging other religions existing and possibly respecting that or acknowledging that or celebrating that and seeing that as someone coming and trying to hurt you.
Right.
It feels like projection, my friend.
It's un-American.
It is a wild thing. It is a wild, wild thing that I have such a hard time wrapping my brain around. The idea of this whole furor, and I don't mean to throw the Hitler around lightly, but this whole furor around I guess what I'm saying is I think there's such a connection in the way that the right gets whipped up with specifically religion and the idea that liberals are anti-religion and they're going to force you not to practice your religion. They're going to make sure you're not allowed to say Christmas. You can't write the word Christmas because it says Christ in there. So we don't want to see that in public. That whole idea is held on to so tightly by the people, the leaders of that whole movement, because it gets people scared and excited and worked up and angry.
I just made a connection. Michael Jordan would manufacture a slight to rev him up.
Yes.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
It is 100% what they're doing.
That's absolutely true. And the people in charge know that and are using it,
But they just want to be the MVP. They just want to win a championship. So in that way, I understand.
At some point, they'll do a long documentary about it, 10 episodes about, All right, Amber, what else is going on?
Michael Jordan is my personal God and savior. So it does make sense to me what Jamie was saying. I do believe in Michael Jordan.
That's fine.
Of all time.
That's fine. I can almost hear you.
And you know what? And I would die for him.
Do you know what his birthday is?
I would die for him.
What is it?
I'm Googling it.
For your next
That's why people tune into this. You're Googling going on.
February 17th.
Amber, what else is going on?
He got to have a birthday this year. Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
The going to Joshua Tree was really the biggie. I didn't realize how much I had to bring to the table.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, Amber, you and Jeff are going to find yourselves. Am I loud enough? You and Jeff are going to find yourselves out in the middle of a desert staring up at the sky, the
stars.
You see a million stars. It's going to be, it's obviously, I mean, look, if we can make it to a third of these, to hear like what it's going to be like, when you come back and what that felt like, because it's going to be getting away. I mean, literally, you have to try to, in some way, try to escape from everything that's happening right now. It's like it's too much. Mm-hmm. And you have to find some kind of quiet. Like, you guys will have that moment of like, I just have gone once to Joshua Tree, and that's what I mainly remember about the experience, was just being out in a place in the night, under the moonlight, quiet, and you feel like you find some kind of peace,
Yep.
Peace of what?
Pie. It's Thanksgiving.
you find an old dusty pumpkin
wheelhouse.
Piece of pumpkin pie in the dirt.
Say the pie is in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, that was
my favorite wheelhouse is a pie.
All right. Well, I'll off that, I will get into what's going on with me, which is that about a week and a half ago, I drove from Los Angeles up to Idaho, which is where I am now. I am in a barn in Idaho. I'm in the apartment upstairs in the barn. Downstairs are 4 horses, 2 donkeys, 2 dogs, and a cat.
I love donkeys and the other dogs.
There are multiple 4-legged creatures very near you.
Yes, yes.
What are you doing there? You're probably going to get to that.
I had the same question.
Cliffhanger. And now
another
Jamie,
vote.
Checking in.
No, my college roommate lives up here, and we were talking at some point, and the idea was floated that, and I don't know if it was floated by me or by him or his wife, that maybe I would come up and spend some time up here because they have the barn up here, and I can quarantine for 2 weeks. Although I think, it's been a week and a half so far, and I think I may have dinner with them tonight, but
Sean?
We're going to do it outside. There are 2 fire pits and
cold?
A fireplace. It's going to be, it was 12 degrees this morning.
Oh.
Holy shit.
I'm Joshua Tree might be cold. It's in the 60s.
It is so cold up here. But, I have long underwear, and it's just nice. I mean, I've been in my place by myself for 8 months,
That's a lot.
So far, we have had dinner together, but only like they will come and sit at the bottom of the stairs, and I'll be at the top of the stairs and talk.
Cute.
That way. Very, it's very Romeo and Juliet, But here's the other part of it is, before I left Los Angeles, I had 2 root canals, within a couple of weeks of before I left. And that was bad. Yeah, it was, I had to find a dentist, and I went on Yelp, and this guy had 2.5 stars. So
no.
He had a good rating, but anyway, it was, so I went over to, I forget where it was, Pasadena maybe. And this guy, and so I went in there, and, the dentists, they know everybody hates them, like it must suck to be a dentist because nobody wants to be near you. And so I went in and I said, I'm nervous about feeling, being very painful. And the guy was like, I got you, baby. And he stuck all these needles in.
He sounds cool.
I know. I thought you were going to say you should probably be pretty scared.
He stuck all these needles in. Totally,
I was like, how unbuttoned was his shirt? It was like a gold chain. Like, he's still working in Beverly Hills.
I think we get the
baby.
No, I mean, look, I'm a big fan of dentist porn, but so he numbed up my whole face, and he did all the stuff he had to do, and I didn't feel a thing. I was like, oh, that was amazing. I can't believe it. And then I had to go back again, and he did it again, because I guess that happens with root canals, where they have to let it sort of settle, and then you go back and you get it done a second time, and then you're all set. So I get up here to Idaho, and I'm here one night, and all of a sudden, it was like somebody was stabbing me in the face. Like, it was so painful, and I didn't know what to, like, for one night I thought, my head was going to explode. And then I found some painkillers, and I started taking those, and it felt, less bad. It was still bad, but it was not as bad. But anyway, I went to the dentist in town, and he was like, "Oh, you have you're going to need another root canal, third root canal."
Oh,
how did the first dentist not see this though?
Well, I think what happened was there was still a little bit of infection in there from the first two, and it spread to a third root or canal. I don't know.
My
I
aunt,
have no idea.
My aunt worked at a dental clinic for decades, and the one thing I learned was,
take it easy, champ.
A good root canal is one where the dentist, because it's literally they literally have to scrape out infection.
Yeah, right. Get stuff out.
And the fact is that sometimes the dentist the first time just doesn't get it all.
Right. And I think the second time he didn't get it either, because this is the third time. So, but I'm in Idaho, so it's not like I go to Pasadena. I have to go. I have to go just around the corner, right around the corner.
I just imagine Sean driving overnight. Oh well.
No, it was Twin Falls was 60 miles away, and I was like, God. And so the dentist called them in Twin Falls, and he was like, "Can you go right now?" I was like, "Sure." So I go to Twin Falls. I'm in the office. The receptionist does not have a mask on.
Ugh.
Right. So I'm already like, all right. Oh, and I should add that I had read an article in the Idaho Statesman the day before about how cases were flaring up in the Magic Valley, which is where Twin Falls is.
That's a fun name.
The Magic Valley. I know there's like the Magic Dam, the Magic Reservoir, the Orlando Magic. All of them are here in Idaho.
Quick question.
Yeah.
When you saw that she wasn't wearing a mask, like I tried to imagine what the very first thing I would have done is, because I'm finding myself in those situations, and I'm like, I've had such a weird fight or flight response. I feel like you have a fight or flight response every other time you go out, Mm-hmm. Did you step a couple steps away from her, Sean, or did you?
No, it was right when I walked in the door. So I could, if I had stepped steps away, I would have been outside again. So,
and it's cold out.
Yeah. But no, I was warned a little bit, because it was clear that this was an area where masks were not a priority. And in fact, there was an anti-mask movement, one thing I like to do is I say to people, is that your real face? Is that your real face? And they go, yeah, why? And I go, because I thought you were wearing a mask, but I guess you're not wearing a mask. And that sometimes shames people into, but so.
That's a tiny bit of a thinker.
That's the way I like it. Make people think.
Am I wearing a mask?
You know how
there it is.
You know how you have to fill out like 4 hours worth of paperwork anytime you go into a new place?
Uh-huh.
So I wrote down that I was a writer, that I was living in Los Angeles, whatever.
Oh, no. Yeah. Dentists will eat that shit up.
I wrote a script.
This was still the receptionist. So
I love how any medical...
What do you... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love how any medical application becomes like a personal inventory exercise.
Yeah.
It's so hard to fill out, because I'm like, who am I?
It's existential.
Oh, and I also, this is what started the conversation. It was like employer, and I wrote self, and
oh no.
Then it said, how long have you been employed there? And I wrote, ever since I can remember.
Oh boy.
And she was like, oh, you're funny. And then she started asking.
And you're like, you have no idea.
Yeah,
I happen to have written for television.
No, she was asking me like, what did you write for? And blah, blah, whatever.
Right.
But then because of where I'm staying is a more I guess liberal part of Idaho, which is, I don't know, sort of oxymoronic, but she goes, "Oh, now that you're down here," this is what she said. She goes, "Now that you're down here in Twin Falls, those people up there are just as crazy as you people in LA. But down here, feel free to take your mask off and have a good time. Nobody cares." And I'm just like, oh, and this was like 3 days ago. It was not like,
oh no. So you're going to quarantine again?
I don't know.
No, you're having, I don't know. You're having,
I don't know what
fire pit.
At this point, I'm so confused about what you're supposed to do and when you're supposed to do what.
This is my
how was the road trip? Like,
what does
the world look like? I'm being quite
well. No, that was the funniest thing about it is that I left at 7:00 at night. Like, first of all, because I'm going for like, I don't know how long, but at least a month to one place, I had to bring a ton of shit with me. It wasn't like,
and it's going to be cold. Like, you need layers and.
Well, that didn't work out because as soon as I got here, I had to order a bunch more shit.
Damn.
I brought whatever warm stuff I had, but it was not a lot.
It was like a jean jacket.
It has Hollywood spray painted on the back of the leather jacket.
Your star-shaped sunglasses.
Like,
can you imagine Sean is like as an Elton John-esque character,
a flamboyant LA type.
But I was like, oh, I'm going to pack up my car and then I'll leave by 3:00 in the afternoon. It does not work that way. It took me so long.
Oh, right. Well, and you're by yourself.
I'm by myself. I'm going up and down the stairs. I'm like, so I left at 7:00 at night and it was about a 15-hour drive, I think, altogether. And
that's deep.
A lot of it was through like northeastern Nevada, I guess we say now, not Nevada. Yeah. And there's nothing there. I mean, there's just it was like I couldn't even see anything. There was no lights, there was no shapes, there was nothing.
Oh wow, this is awesome. I'm
trying to figure out, that must have been Aaron.
Yeah.
It's so that was how long the drive was it said 12 hours to Twin Falls, and Twin Falls is only an hour from here, but I stopped a couple times along the way. But it was crazy how there was just nothing.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, I wish I could see something right now, but I can't see anything. So anyway, it was not a fun drive. And by the end of it, this was the other thing. My friend said to me, she goes, just so you know, when you're coming north from like Vegas, basically, it's basically a 2-lane highway for hundreds of miles. And I was like, I get it. There's 2 lanes going each way. No, 1 lane going each way.
It's like a street. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty nuts.
Sean, do you remember the drive we did back from the Phoenix?
I was definitely at that point by the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Amber, Jamie, Sean and I drove back that last night. We didn't stay till the next day.
Oh yeah.
And by the time, it's always that last like 40 minutes into LA, Sean had turned up the radio to like maximum volume.
Right. Like,
desperately trying to stay awake,
fresh air.
I was like starting to slap myself in the face.
And Joe the whole time is sucking my dick, and I'm like,
okay,
Joe,
what is going on?
I did that drive back with Jamie, and I was like medically hungover, and apparently Jamie didn't notice.
Why do you say that?
Well, because like a week later, we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I thought I was gonna die. I was so hungover, and you're like, oh.
I just remember getting like pineapple ice cream, and
I was like, yeah, we could stop again. Like,
oh, I'm sorry.
I could get a water the size of my head. The desert is real.
So here's the other thing.
I wanted to talk about Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Nevada.
Nevada.
You saying that you saw nothing. It made me realize watching the election results come in, it was like comical how small of a population Nevada is. Like it makes sense that there was nothing there because it was like why are you taking so long to count? There's none of you. Right. What is happening? Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I couldn't believe that there were like, you just expect to like run into a town or see a few lights in the distance or something.
Nothing.
And there was none of that. It is just, it's the fucking Mojave Desert. There is nothing out there, you know?
You know how we live in a time where we've all seen more fucking maps of demographics in our lifetime than we ever had. Like I've seen 1,000 maps in the last 3 months that show things like that, where you look at one of those, population center ones, and then you just see how in the middle, it just kind of drops out. There just aren't people, as much people. I didn't mean to deny people.
Are you saying you want to get into electoral college now, Joe?
I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
I want to be the Steve Kornacki of the Low Show Post.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's one of those things where I think in a way we're all trying to process what the entire country is, which is, it's a huge country. That's the thing too. It's just giant.
It's big. It's big.
And you find yourself in a place like, Sean, you're completely out of our LA bubble right now. You're
100%.
It's like another planet.
Well, and here's what's funny about that too, is I've been for a few days, I was, it is so spectacular up here. I can't even put it into words. Like it's just stunning everywhere. Like I'm looking at mountains right now. It's kind of getting dark out, but I see like peaks, snowy peaks in the distance. Aww. And I'm just, so I wanted to go out for some hiking, but these people I'm staying with were busy. And so they couldn't really show me. I mean, it's easier than I thought it was to get to the canyon behind their house and go up, which we did yesterday. But so for a few days, I was just walking on the roads out here. And so a car drives by maybe every 10 minutes.
That's insane.
But what's funny about it is every car that drives by, the driver is like, hey, like they wave to you. Every person that drives by is waving to you. And I'm waving back. And I'm like, if you and I sat down and had a conversation, I bet we would find things to disagree about,
But that could be said about any human being.
Even though
the best part is anyone else would have said the opposite of what Sean just said. Like, we could find something to agree about.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if they knew who I was, where I was from, what I did, Hollywood,
how much smarter you are,
liberal bubble, smarty pants, academic bullshit, libtard, they would be like,
you probably had a guy suck you off to drive home from Phoenix, didn't you?
I can't believe you said that, man.
Did that really happen?
I know. Why do you guys keep bringing it up?
The story.
That's what I said.
I'm yes-anding.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Great. It's beautiful.
You know what? It actually came out of an improv we were doing at around like El Segundo.
Joe committed. I mean, you got to give him credit. He committed so hard.
It's a good episode when I'm creeped out.
And just to give you the backstory on the scene, we were grandfather and grandson, which made it even bigger. I won't say who. I won't say who was who.
I don't know which is worse.
I was about to say.
No, it is so amazing up here, and it's just.
And the air probably is very fresh. In Los Angeles, it's kind of rough always, but most of this year it was also filled with fire smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing about like you look at your smartphone and it's like air quality warning, fatal, and it's like I don't want to go. But yeah, it's just
Smartphone.
LA.
You're smart. What? You have
I like that you're like worried about Apple suing.
Look, you glance at your tablet and
Can we bleep that out, Aaron?
Let's Greek it out.
Apple has deep pockets. I'm just saying.
You guys were all here when LA at least.
This episode could be tied up in legislation for years. Not legislation. You know what I mean?
Do you have anything on your mind, Sean? Like legislation. Like the collapse of the country. Do you guys remember that LA at least had like literally the 2 weeks of historically clean air when there was the first 2 weeks of the actual lockdown?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That was pretty cool. I was like, oh, we're the bad guys in the story.
It was like the first time that I think people collectively were like, oh, maybe we could make a difference.
Go away.
We should move for sure.
Stop driving.
Climate change is real.
It made everyone realize that there's something we can disagree on.
Can I say something about those first couple weeks when we had clean air?
Yeah.
Did you notice how cocky birds were?
No.
Birds were really feeling themselves.
They were louder.
They'd outside my window just be like,
they're like giving you the finger.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the other thing. I didn't see any birds when I was out hiking yesterday, but I saw deer and elk, both. Wow. Yeah. And then today I was out for a hike this morning, very early.
And they were very small and they were flying. It was 3 seconds too late, but
it was strange. Yeah. But I was out for a hike this morning and all of a sudden I was surrounded by a pack of wolves.
No.
Well, it was dogs, and there were only two of them, but still, it was scary.
And they were on leashes.
Every lie that Sean says I use as a setup for like a movie scene where like the one with like the elk, Sean walked all the way up to the elk and they
like
had
nose
that,
to nose.
That silent moment of like just looking into each other's eyes. Sean like apologizing, like I'm destroying your world. And then the wolves was full on like Liam Neeson. Sean killed all the wolves. They all attack.
They were in a circle around him and he like kicked them off.
And he's like ripping them in half.
All of a sudden, Anthony Hopkins was right next to me for some reason. I think he was in that movie too. I don't remember.
Sean, it's just that right now you look like the guy who could do that.
Yeah. Oh, I think I could.
I would put you in the Liam Neeson in the snow movie.
But the thing is, I am, everybody lets their dogs just run around up here because.
Oh, and you hate that shit.
And it's not even that I do hate it in LA. I don't hate it up here. It just scares me because I'm like, how do I know this dog? I got bitten like 2 years ago. So how do I know this dog is not going to just fucking go for the throat,
No masks on the dog?
As soon as I saw the dogs, I saw them up the trail today and I saw no people. They no masks, open carry, and they had camo on, but I managed to spot them. And as soon as I saw
here's the weird thing. I'm like for gun control, but I want all dogs to have guns.
But I saw them up the trail, and as soon as I saw them, now what? Oh, there it is.
That was you. That was Sean last night.
Totally. I did have a knife.
Heard of this,
I did have a knife with me. But as soon as I saw them, I started walking back the other way. Like I had planned to walk for 45 minutes. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk. I'm just going to turn around and go back. So I did. And of course it was too late by then because about 4 seconds later, they were jumping all over me. And they were fine. Like they didn't, it was fine. It was fine. I was like petting the whatever. And then finally I see the owner up the trail and she comes down and she's friends with or neighbors, at least with the people that I'm staying with.
So we were just chatting for a minute or whatever. I did put my mask on. She did not, which is fine. We were out in the middle of fucking nowhere and we were not that close to each other. But she was like, are you going to keep going up the trail? I said, yeah. And she goes, do you have cleats on your boots?
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm like,
you're like, I'm wearing Converse, ma'am.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a native Idahoan schooling a Californian.
It's either Converse or like he does have like the Elton John like boots. Like he's wearing like spangly boots.
I have goldfish bowls in both heels. Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to say was that at the oral surgeons or the endodontists, whatever, the guy who did this root canal.
And then you had to drive 60 miles back after that.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. I did stop off because right outside Twin Falls is the Snake River, which, if you remember, on September 8th, 1974, was exactly where Evel Knievel attempted to jump over the Snake River Canyon. And there is a viewing spot there where you can pull over to the side of the road. So I did that, and it was pretty cool. It's like the bridge is like an old iron bridge that apparently is one of the most popular base jumping spots in the country.
Mm.
There was nobody there doing it that day, thank God, because I would have been very nervous. But I did find it sort of fascinating. But then I drove back, and I will say the drive from Twin Falls up here, and I'm going to keep talking about this. It's unbelievable. It is incredible because you're driving up. I mean, this is what happened the morning, when my first drive, I drive all night through Nevada, and it's just nothing on either side anywhere. And dark, pitch dark the whole time. Finally get to Twin Falls. I stop off for a coffee because I know I'm in that last hour and Joe is not there to keep me awake. And I'm driving up, and it's called like the Sawtooth Skyview or something like that stretch of the highway, because you come over a hill and the sun had just come up. So I come over a hill and the whole Sawtooth mountain range is spread out in front of me, like maybe 10 miles away, with the sun shining on it's spectacular. So that's the Built to Spill song.
You know it?
What? I don't know what's happening.
Christmas, Twin Falls, Idaho is her oldest memory.
Sorry, I love that song.
That sounded great.
I don't know. If I was in Twin Falls, I would have not used stick drawings, but that's just me. You're losing the effect of Twin Falls. But anyway, the other thing I was just going to say is this guy, I'm in the chair. He's looking at my mouth, whatever. They put it all the way back. I'm looking up at the ceiling, and there's a TV on the ceiling, and it's on, and it's showing the moment from Monday Night Football from the 80s when Lawrence Taylor broke Joe Theismann's leg and ended his career. And I don't know if you guys remember that. It was horrifying. Like, people screamed on the field. They all ran out and were like calling for the it snapped his leg in half. And I'm like, why is he showing this? And it turns out that
bad.
It turns out that I think that is footage from the beginning of the movie The Blind Side. I don't know if you've ever seen The Blind Side.
I haven't seen it.
Well, let me
thank you, Aaron.
Aaron's not going to let us watch that right now.
If you do, also play the Built to Spill song over it.
Christmas, Twin Falls, Idaho.
What we could play those
with a Wilhelm scream.
Wait, so it's the beginning of the movie Blind Side.
Yeah. Blind Side. Anyway, I just was struck by Blind Side. It's such a simplistic.
You're saying you were blindsided by The Blind Side. I
was blindsided. Yeah. it's just a very like.
Sorry. Oh shit!
You give Jamie one little piece of power, and he just abuses it. You know
what song that was?
He knows how to
It
do
was Fight the Power, wasn't
No, it
it?
was I've Got the Power by Snap, which is a
Oh.
reference to the snapping of the bone.
Damn.
But anyway, I did abuse.
I would not have gotten that. I would not have gotten that.
It's an A to C situation.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be the new learning curve of the show now.
Yeah, right. It's like a puzzle. You have to figure things out. Anyway, The Blind Side was bad, and it was just all about how hard it is. It's like a weird. It's such a weird movie.
Savior movie, right?
Yeah, it's like
it's now heralded as like an example of how not to tell.
See, I didn't know that, and I was just getting angry the whole time because it was like,
well, you're on the right side of history.
Every line of the movie was like, I'm Sandra Bullock with blonde hair and lots of money, and this guy is poor and black, and just every line was like, sucks to be you. Don't you want to be like me? Like, it was just bizarre. And I kind of couldn't believe that they made it. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like at one point, so she ends up letting him stay on her couch, right? So he's sleeping on the couch, but maybe he needs to leave. He's been there for a while and they're not sure that, like, is he going to stay there? Is he going to go? Is he, go ahead, Jamie, play the Clash song. Should I stay or should I go?
Actually, I picked a different Clash song.
That's too on the nose. That's too on the nose, Sean. That's only actually one step removed.
It's
called Man on Couch.
Sorry, I can't even think of a song title, but something by OK Go. See, it's OK Go because it's like, but
and by the way, you're watching this entire movie as you're getting dental work done.
Not even that. It's while I'm waiting for the numbing stuff to kick in.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm just lying there, and she goes, Big
They
Mike.
don't give you an option of entertainment. It's just like watch the Blind Side.
Like they just kind of threw the headphones on my head. They're like, here's your volume control, and here's the movie. And I probably could have said, hey, I'd like to. But I had a bad experience with that once before at a dentist's office where she kept wanting to show me stand-up comics. And it was like, yeah, it was, busman's holiday, as they say. But also it was like comics were all using the N-word. And, and so we're sitting there and it just was very uncomfortable. But so, she's like, Big Mac. I forget. I think she's from Tennessee or something. Or
yeah, Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, she's like, Big Mac, do you want to stay here with us? And he just has like a hangdog expression silently the entire time. This giant of a human being, and he's just like, just so sad. And he doesn't say anything, and she's like, Big Mac, and he goes, I don't want to go anywhere else. Yeah, that guy. It just was such an irritating movie where every line was just emphasizing how different the two of them were.
And you said Big Mike, it sounded like Borat. A Big Mike. It really did sound like that. That was very funny.
Well, did you guys see the new Borat?
I did.
I cried. I know it's a tough year, but I was like, this is a very sweet movie, and I did not expect that.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I wish they had shown me Borat instead of Big Mike, instead of The Blind Side.
Sean's like, can you at least retitle it to the Big Mike story? Just at least.
I wish they
put a little more.
I wish they had shown me Borat instead of Legislation.
Wait, was this in Twin Falls that you saw it, or in LA?
Yeah, Twin Falls.
Yeah, they're not going to be playing Borat.
No, LA, they were just like, suck it up. You quiet, I work. He really did talk like Borat.
The icing on that pandering cake is, I think Sandra Bullock won an Oscar for that.
I know.
No.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, there was definitely an Oscar.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
no, but it's bad. It's like I watch a lot of video essays on film, like theory and critique. And it is
all right, we get it.
No, not all right. That's not a good thing.
My aunt worked at a dental clinic. All right.
But like anytime they're talking about like a bad representation of people of color or a bad representation of racism, it's always The Blind Side. It was
yeah, I because I had heard about it, but I mean I'd heard of it, but I'd not heard about it. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie?
Wait, that's already shown us. It's something you're going to have to get used to, darling.
What?
On Meryl Streep for Julian.
About to win.
Oh, Sean's going to be pissed.
Standing ovation.
What a crock of shit.
Yeah. People
anyway, then the guy wouldn't even admit that.
Wait. Erin said something. She won the Oscar and took it to the Razzies. Oh, that's fun. Sorry, I'm everyone's aunt.
Wait, so she also?
Wait, are you pro fun or anti fun, Amber?
Confusing, right?
You hate people who love their family, don't you?
Oh.
You don't want them to spend Christmas with their family.
I don't want them to hurt people.
Hurt people.
By the way, this year, it's not just a war on Christmas, but it's also a war on Thanksgiving. I feel like people they've been freaking out about Thanksgiving more than the country ever has. Like, you can't take away our Thanksgiving. It's like two battles that have to be fought with these two holidays now.
I guess there was a thing where Trump was trying to say that people were trying to change the name of Thanksgiving. Like, they didn't want it to be named Thanksgiving anymore. Like, he made up some fucking thing.
I love that. I love that his schedule. You know how you can see what the president's schedule is. The last 4 days or something has been like nothing. Like, he's literally had nothing. And then they were like, it was a news story where they were saying he is going to do the turkey pardoning ceremony.
And you went,
well, what I heard is he's going to make the turkey the president and have the turkey pardon him.
We'll be right back.
Yes, I agree with that. I think we should take a 2-second break.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, let's take a break and then we'll come back with some more stuff.
You are listening to The Long Shot. SHOT. You just got shot on your radio.
We're back. You're listening to The Long Shot. We have been talking about The Blind Side. I don't like it when a movie that I know of and I finally see it and it just makes me angry the whole time. Like,
I love that.
That's why you're going to disagree with some of those drivers.
I love it.
Well, I love that. So,
Sean, I love that you got a root canal. The most painful part was watching The Blind Side.
Well, except I went into this one and I was like, oh, the guy doped me up last time. I didn't feel a thing. So,
and this time,
same job entails.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was crazy. Like he waited a half an hour after he shot me up with a few things, and I was like, okay, it'll be fine. Do. And he's drilling, and I'm like, this feels different from the last time. This just feels. I feel like I feel it more. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I feel. And then he fucking broke through something, and it was like, it was like the drill was suddenly touching my hippocampus. You know, it was just
that is the worst. You just got to tell him, do everything in your power to make sure that doesn't happen.
Make me unconscious.
Yeah,
whatever.
I jerked. Like I was like, yeah.
Of course, I can feel it right now.
He goes, "What's the matter? Does that hurt?" And I'm like, I can't say anything. I just gotta get.
No, I'm getting off on it.
I just don't like this smell.
Good.
I was like, no, the football guy just scored a touchdown.
I don't like that Sandra Bullock has fake blonde hair.
It's not a flattering coloring for her.
Of course he keeps his clothes in a plastic bag. He's poor. No, he doesn't have any other clothes. Of course, he has to wash his clothes in the sink at the laundromat, and then sneak his clothes into the other person's dryer so he can dry them because he doesn't have money. He's a poor person.
Big Mike.
Sean's body is like spasming for the entire time he's saying that. He's like arched back.
But it was like there were like 3 different times where if I had possessed the capacity, I would have screamed. It was so.
Oh my God.
White savior.
Tell me something I don't know about you, Big Mac. Just one thing. Tell me one thing, Big Mac. Silence.
It's
come on, Big Mac. One thing, and then he goes like this. He goes very quietly.
I like
got
chicken
that hang
nuggets.
dog. He goes, I don't like to be called Big Mike.
Oh fuck!
They've been calling him Big Mike the whole time. He didn't like it. He was just too polite.
She's bad. She's a bad person.
I like to be called.
All right, Michael.
Regular size, Mike.
What if he's like, I like to be called Little Mike.
Also, here's another.
But that don't make sense.
I feel like I could talk about
David.
this. I feel like I could talk about this movie for 2 hours. But here's another thing: Lily Collins is in the movie, who is I don't even know.
Bill Collins' daughter.
I felt that coming in the air tonight.
Go ahead,
Jamie.
Play the studio.
Just play the Tarzan soundtrack.
Play a preacher reading from the Bible. See, that's Genesis, and Bill Collins was in Genesis.
Do I sound like that? By the way, Bill Collins is embroiled in a divorce situation.
Not good times for Phil.
He saved a guy from drowning. Anyway,
that's a myth.
Lily Collins.
That's a myth.
You know what?
This just became like a Phil Collins conspiracy podcast in literally 3 seconds.
You know what Lily Collins' character's name is in the movie?
Phil
Collins. She's a teenage girl whose name is Collins.
Her first name is Collins.
And her real name is Lily Collins. She beat out Phil Collins for the part. They were only seeing Collins as. Anyway, that irritated me too. Not as much as the other stuff, but I was like, really? Her name has to be Collins?
Against all odds, she got the part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the movie that the Phil Collins song is in.
Say again?
Against all odds.
She's an easy lover.
Now you start playing.
Won't feel it.
Now you start playing Flowers for Algernon, and you're like, "See, Flowers for Algernon." It was James Woods. James Woods was in Against All Odds, and you got to. This is our version of conspiracy theories. Is just like one step away from another thing.
It's just the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon game,
but only 2 degrees.
Right.
And all Collins related.
2 degrees of Phil Collins.
2 degrees of Phil Collins. Lily Collins is a very easy one.
I don't know who Lily Collins is. I'll have to.
I didn't either.
After.
The only thing I remember, I feel like I've seen her name a million times, and I also was thinking that she was a different actress. I was thinking she was the girl who played. I don't remember the character's name, but in the Edgar Wright movie with the Jamie Foxx was in. Yeah, that's Lily Collins. But who am I thinking of? Who was?
Isn't she Emily in Paris, or is that somebody else?
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, right? I thought Lily Collins was the woman in Baby Driver, but that's a different person. But anyway, Lily Collins was in Tolkien. That's the only thing I knew her from. When I saw her, I was like, "Oh." I said to myself, and I couldn't say it out loud. I would have if I had not been completely numbed up and being operated on. I said, "Oh, that's the broad from Tolkien."
I hope that we spend more time talking about The Blind Side than the length of the movie, The Blind Side.
I could do it easily. It was so upsetting to me.
I do want to harken back to what Joe said. Like, it is the ultimate joke of all time to say, like, I don't want to say the Blind Side was bad, but I got it. I watched it while getting
It ruined a root canal.
No,
It
it's
made a root
almost
canal
that.
worse.
like that's
It is.
Yeah.
It is the thing I remember about the most painful root canal I've ever had.
Take
And
that,
then
Sandy.
But you know,
And then, Sean, I keep thinking about how then did you just get in your car and then drive back? Like,
Yeah.
was there a time in between?
Well, first you had to.
well,
Google
no.
Lily
I had to.
Collins.
What's that?
First, you had to Google Lily Collins.
No,
Then you got
I
your
did.
car.
And then I had to go. I went to a Red Box to get them some other movies so they could show some other things.
By the way, there's a Lily James in Baby Driver.
That's who I was thinking.
Oh, because they have the same first name.
You're like an expert pattern recognizer.
Joe always wins whenever we play 1 Degree of Lily.
Sean, is all of this going in your Yelp review for this Twin Falls, Idaho dentist? It's one of those Yelp
he
reviews
would not admit.
that's like
He would
4
not admit.
paragraphs.
I went in there. Sorry, what's that?
I was just saying it's one of those that it becomes like 5 paragraphs on the Blind Side.
In the third act, it becomes apparent.
Do
then,
not
like,
go to Dr. Smith if you
at the
don't
very
like
end.
The Blind Side.
1.5 stars.
kind of ouchy.
I went in and I said to him right when I got there, I said I had 2 root canals about a month ago in LA. Could that be connected to this one? And he's like, oh no, they're separate events. And I said, well, how frequently does this happen? And he goes, 300 million times a year in the United States. But he was just talking about root canals in general. So by the end of it, when he realized that the 2 I had were on the 2 teeth right next to the 3rd tooth, he was like, well,
6.
you know, I don't want to. Right. Twice.
There's 6 cases a year.
Twice. You're the second. No, but he was like, I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody else's work. So I don't know that it was from that. Like, and that was all he said. And I was like, oh, okay. The other guy fucked up, and that's why this happened.
It's like
tough because it seems like the first guy maybe was too focused on the numbing,
pain-free,
and killed it.
Right.
Like, because maybe you need a little bit of the pain to know if there's more infection or something.
Oh.
I don't know. I honestly
just go all the way in.
just
John,
do it all.
Not to get
What
too
is this?
technical.
Oh, yes.
But have you? So did you also get the crown as well? Is
You're
it
talking
like,
about the Queen's Gambit?
No, the crown.
No, but everybody is talking about that show. Is it because I'm asking because so I had the same thing back in April. I had just started getting like tooth pain in March.
I remember, and I was telling you to go get it checked out.
And I did. And
thank God for me.
The thing is this, though. So I had the root canal, and then what they do is then, since it's basically digging out, they have to fill that hole. And usually there's a temporary bonding of like paste. And then part of the process is coming back, and then they put the crown, which is like, you know, the made tooth looking fake tooth to cap it off. So have you had that part as well?
No, I already had a crown there. This was underneath the crown.
Underneath the crown. Okay.
But I do have to go back. Like I have to go back. Right. That was the other thing. The guy goes, yeah, you're going to have to come back because I had to pack the tooth with some antimicrobial stuff, and we have to let that do its work for a while and get rid of everything that's in there. And I had to go, before I drove back, I had to go get a prescription filled and all this stuff. But I said, so when should I come back? And he goes, so, well, are you going to be here in February? And I was like,
oh man.
Yeah. So it was a whole fucking thing. But yeah, so then I went to Walmart to get the prescriptions filled, and that was a whole nightmare. But at least what I was thinking the whole time I was having this nightmare getting the prescriptions filled in Walmart was like, at least I'm not watching The Blind Side. Like this is, you know, better than that.
Every day your gratitude list is just like, I am not currently watching The Blind Side.
I love that it's become like pandemic, Blind Side. Blindside.
It was crazy. It was crazy how upsetting that movie was. And I only watched like 45 minutes of it because then he started drilling and I started screaming, and that was it. Now I feel like I have to watch the rest of it just to see where it goes, you know?
Oh, you didn't see how it ended? You didn't see the end?
You'll never see it coming.
Did you see the scene that like really earned her the Oscar?
He kills the whole family. Mm-hmm. He murders the family.
See, that would be amazing. I would love that. If he just goes, I'm tired. Like, Michael, you notice I'm not calling you Big Mac anymore, right? You see, I'm not calling you Big Mac. I'm calling you Michael. Why are you looking at me like that? Is there something on your mind? You want to say something?
And then he snaps.
He grabs her by the throat.
He snaps her in half.
Lifts her up.
Lawrence Taylor's
he becomes like
and
Michael
says,
Myers.
I've got the power.
He becomes Michael Myers.
All right, Jamie, checking in. What's going on?
Oh, it's been a crazy time. I got my list.
Nothing, huh? You got nothing.
Was there any follow-up from the car accident?
Yeah, I guess I could start with that. I picked my car up on Monday. Oh, we had the same insurance company, which means there's no deductible, which is great. I picked up my car on Monday, and it's all fixed, and they fixed my windshield, which has had a crack in it for years and years and years, a big crack right down the middle. Everyone that gets in is like, you got to fix that. And I'm like, yeah, at some point. They cleaned the car. It hadn't been cleaned, like probably over a year. And then as I get in, my driver's license, which I think I mentioned last time, made the stress of the accident that much shittier because I didn't have my driver's license. But it was sitting on just on the console.
Oh, so it was like under the seat or something, and they found it.
I swear to God, I searched the car so many times, and there it was. And so it was just a really nice, and it felt like a metaphor of like, I can see clearly now.
Anytime
my identity
you slide
back
into what feels like a new car again, like
it looks beautiful.
Car, yeah, it's a good feeling.
Crazy. It was like $8,000 or $9,000 worth of things, a new hood, a new thing. It's like I didn't anticipate what it would look like. I didn't think about it. I don't care about cars enough. Mm-hmm. But when I saw that, I was like, I do care. Welcome back, buddy.
Do you think the mechanics were honest with you, Jamie, if you were saying things like a new hood, a new thing? Yeah. Put it on the bill.
If I was paying out of pocket, I would have got screwed because, I'd be like, I guess, we all got it. I don't know. Sure.
Give me three new
Steve,
things.
I told you he'd noticed that we replaced the thing.
Mr. Flam, it's a brand new thing. It's a new thing.
It sounds like we need it.
Get the new hood. I didn't think he'd see the new thing.
I literally don't know what anything in a car does.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys know what a piston does?
No.
It goes up and down.
Yeah.
That's more than I know.
But I don't know why or... Yeah.
I think gasoline has something to do with it.
I know that much.
And then what does it do? Okay, good.
Magic.
That is a problem because, and it's the same thing when, I had a plumber come over to look at some stuff in my house, and it's like, I don't fucking know what to look at. I don't know how much these things cost. I don't know. So you just have to trust people, which we do not live in a trusting time.
No. For all even like a root canal, like if a dentist says that's a thing, I'm like, I guess I got to do that.
Yeah.
I guess that one I trust a little bit more, but.
Well, I could have the personal pain in my face that led me to believe
the
that
face pain.
And now anybody that you have any business with, or if they have to come into your home, I had plumbers come in like in the second month of the quarantine, and I had to trust them to not wear the mask under the nose. And there were two guys, an older guy and a younger guy, and the younger guy had the mask under his nose. And they're standing where I'm living. And I just was like, I have to say, hey, can you, and it was like, oh yeah, of course. But
and they immediately added $100 onto the bill.
And that's the baseline trust now, which is, if you do the work and we're talking, can you make sure that you're masked.
Meanwhile, they're looking around at your apartment and going, "Really? That's what you're worried about?"
We had to have plumbers come into our We had to have plumbers come into our apartment this week. Our bathtub backs up every winter. It's really annoying. I think it's the whole building because our plumber was like, after it left our apartment, went like to every other apartment. I think it's just it happens. But they had to come back on Friday because it sort of started doing it again. And they showed up right at noon, and I was so hungry, and I was just about to eat lunch, and I didn't want to be maskless in my apartment when the plumbers were in. Sorry, the computer just said it's dying, so I'm trying to plug it in. There we go. So what I did was I was so hungry. I just got my plate with my sandwich on it, and I marched outside and just like stood on the sidewalk and ate a sandwich.
Yeah.
What kind of sandwich?
Turkey. But I was like, oh, I could probably do this more often. It was kind of nice. Al fresco.
Now you know how Channing Tatum feels.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was like, I'll eat exactly where the crew ate. That's where
By the way, I want to come back to Jamie, but I do want to interject this because I feel like it applies to us talking right now. That's in the last week, I've gotten 2 emails from one of the guys who lives in my building to say, guess what happened in my building related to the Long Shot podcast? The mailboxes were robbed twice.
No.
By 2 different people within the last week. Yes.
I will say my parents, Flams Lock and Key, quick shout out, but they do commercial mailboxes. But their business right now is held alive by mailbox sale or burglary. What's the opposite of sale? Mailbox sales has helped them tremendously, but it's like it is a crazy, very pervasive.
There's a lot of people who aren't making any money, like a huge percentage of the population. Crime.
And I had a bunch of big checks coming in.
No
cash, really. People were sending me a lot of cash.
12 cents, 17 cents.
Just
no, I really did have a couple of big checks coming in, and now I'm like, fuck. But I did change my address before I left, so I'm hoping that went through fast enough that it didn't affect me.
Change your address to what?
What's that?
What did you change your address to?
Idaho, probably.
Oh, right, to go there. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I knew I was going to be up here for a while.
681 Dingleberry Avenue.
That'll show those fuckers.
That'll show them. Now try to steal in my mail.
Sean,
where's Dingleberry Avenue?
Gotta drive to find it.
It does feel like, Sean, that your complex is like on a fucking list or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't make sense because you have to climb up that big hill. Like, why?
And he got in. They both got in by hopping over the fence, like going over the driveway fence, which is like spiked and not easy to get over. I don't know.
It
must be profitable.
There must be someone in your building that gets a specific delivery.
Maybe.
I mean, isn't it most likely that it's someone who knows someone in the building? I mean, if they keep
I think it's somebody who knows somebody in the post office because those keys that they have are post office keys, which is why when I called years ago and I called, I don't know, the postmaster general or the roast master, I called Jeff Ross. No. I called and they were like, yeah, those keys, we don't know, man. Anybody could have them. That's just, they're the same keys all over the city, so anybody could have them. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm sure it's even worse now that this fucking DeJoy is in there. Because
I love how you made the key guy like a not rich Trump. Yeah, these keys, we don't know.
The best keys.
I don't know. They're very good keys.
Anybody could have some
anybody can get a hold of them. They're very common. That I can tell you.
Why don't you get a security camera for the mailbox area? Or do you have
There is one. We have photographs of these guys.
Uh-oh.
In fact, if you remember last time, didn't we go together?
You just said like in an incriminating way.
They were wearing the hats that they stole and
No, but the photo, I sent Amber the photo. I think you went yourself to the police station, And the photo was a guy who was probably 45, but he was dressed in like clam diggers and a wife beater and had like a Winnie the Pooh backpack on and a sideways baseball hat. Like,
I get the
he
type.
was trying to make himself look like just a kid, you know,
Right,
like he was in disguise.
Oh,
Licking
disguise?
a lollipop. The whole...
Yeah. Propeller beanie.
It's just a kid.
Jamie, anyway, what else? So you got your license back. It was in the floor the whole time, or the service station had it.
I don't know what you're implying, but
it felt,
that's
Jamie,
a twist.
Jamie, it felt like a break, right? It felt like a little blessing from the universe.
It did. I think the overall thing in my life right now, and maybe you guys relate. It's been certainly since the pandemic, but like, whirlwind. I haven't actually said that word in maybe a year or two.
Is it us? Like, do we do this to you?
When I have to actually look at my life regularly, that's what comes up. But
am I the only one thinking that Jamie actually like the secret? Like, he put out Whirlwind so much that now we're in the middle of a pandemic.
It was my energy alone. That's very powerful.
It's like the universe was like, I'll show you a whirlwind.
Oh, you want to see a whirlwind? I'll show you a whirlwind.
Is anyone watching the season of Fargo, by the we?
I kind of dropped off.
It's not the best one.
Very bad actor, and it's upsetting.
We can go into it, but it's unfortunate. It's still, I think, watchable as hell, but like lots of things. But
I love that we're taking.
I feel like
Sandra
a lot
Bullock.
of the casting choices are not good.
Yeah, and there's like 17 fucking storylines happening. I still enjoy watching it, but
popular culture sucks.
Have you guys seen The Blind Side?
And then John is like, you know what? You should really get a root canal.
I'm saying they go well together. It's like crackers and cheese or salt and pepper, root canal and The Blind Side. You know,
shit in the stick.
But maybe you guys understand.
You're really having some plumbing problems, huh, Joe?
That's not a plumbing problem. That's a toilet paper problem.
Just wait until my checking in. I'm digging shit out of my ass with a stick. Well, time for parting shots.
We have discussed digital extraction on this show before. Go ahead, Jamie.
So yeah, it's been the last few months have been particularly, I feel like, epiphany, everything's starting to kind of come together, and then 3 steps backwards. It really is. I think if you look the last 10 years, I think it's very consistent.
It's like,
but there's a heightenedness for the last 2 months. Those felt like I'll have a week of like things are finally coming together and connecting dots in new ways, and then like that was the worst week. And this past couple weeks, last week, the last time I had a panic attack was when we were recording the long shot. But I haven't had anything as dramatic as that as last week, like 2 nights in a row, like, fuck, I'm having a heart attack.
Oh,
and I have to it's okay. Like, it's like I have to get through it. But what I wanted to
have you talked about this with your mother's therapist?
I have my own therapist now.
Oh,
good. See, that's progress. That's a big deal.
It happens to be my sister's therapist and my girlfriend's therapist.
Stop it!
I'm not even kidding. Adds a wrinkle to the whole thing.
It could have been worse. It could have been like, it's actually my sister and my girlfriend.
And my mom. And my mom's therapist.
That was just a dream I had.
No, but so that
Bill Collins is in the waiting room.
Jamie, that's a big deal.
It was like, last Friday was a just like, fuck, I can't imagine it getting worse than this.
Did something sort of spark it? I mean, there's a lot of shit going on in the world. But
just all the shit. I think relationship stuff is coming to a head yet again, and stuff post-election, and like
is this the same relationship you've been in for a while?
That it ended, and then for like a good 6 months, and then restarted again halfway into the pandemic. And then arguments with my sister. And I don't even want to get into it's not like Democrat, Republican, or liberal, but the night that the election was called and Biden was giving the speech and Kamala Harris, like I think I talked to Amber, or maybe I just felt like we connected on it in some way. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I just felt we do but like the spirit and the energy of the world that night was so magical. And there were a couple of people that were texting me, like just kind of taking me out of it in a way. It was like, yes, I know that like there's a lot of work to be done. Yes, I know that we get one night to celebrate and then it's going to be back to the shit show. But like,
give me that one
night. That then.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that, Amber? I feel like we did. No?
This feels very familiar. I think so.
You guys have another podcast?
Yeah, it was the other podcast.
I feel like I was on that
the short shot.
I was on that text chain, Jamie. I think Amber texted you, "Don't enjoy this."
Oh, right.
Don't have fun, dummy.
Hashtag no fun, dummy.
I think at the end of the day, it's been my ongoing thing. It's like my throat chakra. It's speaking my truth. It
was your birthday. I texted you about your birthday and we were talking. I was like, at least you get to have a fun celebratory weekend after your birthday because of the election results. That's what it was.
Yes,
I was like,
that was.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Yeah, I know it was in the ether of us, but a couple of things have happened in the last week, which has still been a roller coaster. One being my girlfriend. She does somatic healing. I know there's better words for it, but she took me through an exercise where you start with your body and start really thinking about like where's the this was like the day after the main panic attack, but I'm still feeling numbness in my arms, tension in my chest, all these things, like deep anxiety. And we started doing like a kind of a body scan, and I started watching the feelings rising up. And you're just supposed to kind of like talk about what you feel. And it's like, what do you feel in your throat? And I was like, I feel a coin lodging in my throat, and there's just enough air to get out.
Don't tell me it was a fucking magic show.
That would have been dope as hell.
I opened the door.
She was a magician.
By the way, on the drive back from Phoenix, I kept telling myself, that's just a coin.
Oh my God.
I didn't know they made them so big.
That was a lucky penny, if you know what I mean.
Jamie, so just to clarify, your girlfriend is actually doing the healing that she does, or the evaluation that she does. She was doing it on you. You were seeing it.
She's training right now. She's been in a program for the last year where she's learning how to do somatic exercises to like therapy.
But you were seeing this scan, you were saying, like colors?
No, we're just in a Zoom. And close your eyes. Like, where do you feel the stress? I feel it in my arm and my chest and my heart. Okay. Just pay attention to it. Very meditative. Just like, all right, what is it doing now? Just actually sit with it. And it was starting to go away. And just rise up, and I'm like, yeah, what does it feel like? And then to the point where it's like, I feel like a coin. And then the coin just became so evocative of like, that's blocking my throat. And I started just acting like
just chakra,
spitting it out. Like, what happens? It looks if I spit out a coin, and like the idea of like just the metaphor of being a fucking piggy bank and just all the things I'm not saying day to day over years and years and decades, starting to shoot them out. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm still
like
getting
a
the bottom
slot
of it.
Machine. You were like a slot
machine. Slot machine. Yeah, that's another good metaphor. But like, and I've just been trying to tap into that.
Like a payphone. Like a payphone.
That's another great example.
I won't do one.
You do video game vending machine.
Jamie, like one of those games where like you put a quarter in, and then there are different things that push.
That pushing thing.
Change.
Like a snack machine. Like a snack machine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, this is going in. We want it to go out.
Right.
Reach down into the gutter at the bottom.
If you go to the laundromat and you put in a $5 to get quarters.
Oh, laundry is. That's great.
Car wash.
Great. Good job.
Wishing well.
Nobody.
Again, I would argue that wishing well's the opposite of.
Yeah, right. Because it's not coming back. Yeah. That's not a good metaphor.
Nobody workshops a bit like the long shot does in the show.
Yeah, we're not even having fun.
So Jamie, you expelled this tension in the form of a metaphorical coin.
And but by the end of that session, or whatever you call it, like I actually like it dissipated. It ended up like later coming back a little bit, but like it was just so powerful to actually see it actually work and to look at the energy. And so when I woke up the night before I was nauseous, which I was like, this must be food poisoning or something. But by that point, I was like, no, the nauseousness I think was straight up tension, anxiety building up, not speaking and talking about. And we ultimately talked about relationship stuff too and got that out there, which helped. But when you're sitting on things that are just really weighing, I mean, for me personally, that are weighing me down and not speaking it, like that's the source.
What kind of things were you not saying? Or do you not feel comfortable in this?
Yeah, I don't have to get into it, but relationship stuff at work is like, trying to run this company right now. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. I've been listening to a lot of sports podcasts. And of course, the idea of the sports metaphors for life are just like so cliche, but they're so fucking good. And so yesterday I was listening to a podcast. It was Bill Simmons. It's like called Book of Basketball 2.0. And this is just an episode. Michael Jordan's great stuff there, but it's all about Allen Iverson specifically. But they're talking about Allen Iverson. And this is something
player. I love Allen Iverson.
I appreciate him Jordan. Even more. Well, they're talking about Michael. I mean, I didn't bring this up to get into Allen Iverson's career.
Great. Love Allen Iverson.
But as they're talking about him, and as they talk about all athletes at a certain point when they make that change, just like, the first few years, you're learning the game, learning the league, learning how it all works, seeing this is when it started clicking with Kobe or Michael Jordan or all the greats. And it just struck me in a way, especially with Dynasty, like we're about to hit our third year, which is crazy to me. And I'm trying to run it the best I can, but there's so many things I'm still like, I don't know what I'm doing, but like realizing like I mean, this goes for anyone and everyone for where you're at, but like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like if like a lot of the processes and things I've been trying to do that haven't been effective, like you don't get it until like you've been in the NBA for 3 years, like, I mean, I can go, I think you guys get it.
You tried plastic plants in the lobby?
That was when LeBron specifically, I really like started like that when he went to Miami, plastic plants. That's so funny. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't know.
You can't learn how to do it until you do it and you learn how to do it. Like is that what you're saying?
It really, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. You can't know what
right.
That's
but
part
you can't
of it. But
also like get better at it without trying.
But the anxiety and stress that I've been putting on myself, especially
to be perfect already.
And navigating as a theater a fucking pandemic when we're closed, like,
yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what you don't know. Then you start to know what you don't know, but there's nothing you can do about it. Then you start to be able to do something about what you don't know, and you know what you don't know, so you can finally do something about it. Then you eventually get to the point where you know what you need to know and you don't even think about it anymore. So you're somewhere between 2 and 3 at this point.
I think so.
I'm imagining all three of you giving this as like one of those sports team motivational seminars.
They're like, what plays do you want us to do?
That's actually, I mean, that's
like true, one guy's trying to write down everything Sean just said. Wait.
That actually, I mean, the more I unpack it, the more the stuff.
You just have to guard the blind side, Michael.
Anyway, it was very empowering to me to really think like the amount of pressure I put on myself, and I have always put on myself, but especially now, it's like it's okay to not know. It's okay to be figuring things out. It's okay that some of the things aren't going to work. You have to just put them all and try the things and see what works. And I'm starting to see things like that I wanted to be doing my first year and processes for project management and stuff that like I tried, but they didn't work. But I wasn't ready. I didn't know how to execute it in the right way. So now I'm starting to at least see how to do it. And I just think that can be applied for anyone and for every situation, but it's exciting.
Congrats on 3 years, Jamie. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's weird.
That's like 1,800 days, right?
I just keep thinking about how
No, it's about half that, I think.
How we've recorded this show enough to remember when this was the thing you couldn't talk about on the show. Like,
right.
Oh, yeah.
And we're 3, so yeah, you're right, Jamie. You've learned a lot in 3 years. You've stumbled and fallen, you've gone back up. Now you have to do it all. I'm just curious, like, how is the whole virtual comedy world going right now? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't love it overall. Like,
well, it's not the career that you fell in love with. It wasn't your dream.
No, but we're trying to be as innovative as we can and creative, and we're doing. I think classes has been a big thing that we found, but yeah, we're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what works and trying to make a big push right now for a holiday.
What's working? I'm curious. I'm just curious. Like,
also, just to be clear, that is what you learn eventually when you're a business person is you get to the point where it's just about you just throw everything against the wall and see what works. Like, it's not about planning or, figuring, this is the direction we want to go. It's like, let's just throw it out there and see what happens,
That is part of it. I don't know if that was earnest.
I don't think he was being earnest.
Okay. Was it so unearnest that it's crazy that I'm questioning it?
Coming back around to like, maybe he's telling the truth.
Sean's like one of those filmmakers that's like, I'll let you decide what the movie meant.
Sometimes you just have to throw everything against the wall and see what works, Michael.
Anyway, yeah.
Like what shows are popular? What shows are you? Do you feel like, because now you have to look at things from like a different metric as far as like how many people are you getting a sense of numbers at all of like how many people are watching these Zoom shows and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we see the exact number. I mean, we're selling tickets, so.
But do you have a sense of the numbers?
I do have a sense of the numbers.
Are they like cool?
It's honestly just like as we all know, comedy shows in LA, like live shows, like
it's a fickle.
If you can get big famous people, that's ideal because they'll sell a lot more tickets. The coolest thing is the ceiling is obviously there's no capacity,
right. And you don't have to worry about like geography.
No.
Right.
So for a couple of our shows, we've had like 1,500 people.
The plants are plastic, Jamie. They're not going to die. They're
never going to die. So they're sitting in the theater right now.
Do you ever go into the theater still, or?
Well, that was this last week. I was there twice. We're actually doing it. And by the way, if any of you want to use the theater, like we're doing like screenings for groups of 10 or less. If they have like a quarantine pod and they're safe, but we do like only 1 or 2 of us there, pick a movie and we'll rent it out.
Can I rent it out for myself to watch
Blind Side? Yes.
Oh my God.
And you can bring in your dentist and have him working on you all to yourself.
Wait, I actually, this is not a joke. This is not a bit. He's not home. I have been racking my brain on what to get Jeff for Christmas because right now we're in our little apartment. If we have one more thing in here between our 2 workstations, like it's like an avalanche. He doesn't wear like clothes would be something I would give him. We're not wearing real clothes. I would get him like concert tickets.
Pick his favorite movie and come to Dynasty one day.
That might be a great Christmas present.
Well, I do customized videos for it. The last one I want to say last week was a.
I'm being 100% serious. I might be.
I know. We had an anniversary. It was a guy and a girl, which just telling it like it is. Classic couple. But
Losho Poe approves of heteronormative relationships. A guy and a girl.
Whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be.
But they came on last Saturday night, and it was a Saturday night, and it was just the 2 of them. They got the theater for the night. We popped the popcorn, we give them a tour, all the things. But it was the first time I've been there because we've done a few of them, but I haven't been there. it was a Saturday night and just putting on the records, popping the popcorn, getting it. I was like, oh my God.
It felt like home.
This. And just like I have walked in the theater a few times, like, this is just sitting here. I'm so unconnected or disconnected
from
this thing that was everything. So I'm excited to start going in more.
Do you think that guy and girl
had a piston in their car? I don't know what you're saying.
That night, Jamie, for that guy and girl.
When they got home, or I mean, he fisted her for sure. They were definitely fisting each other.
Jamie, I wasn't actually saying if they had sex at the dynasty. Yeah, like
what is this question, Joe?
I don't know.
No, I'm just thinking. I was just thinking. I mean, Jamie did whatever Enchanted is all about. You created a night during a pandemic for a guy and a girl, and they
I love the song, by the way. One of my favorites.
You made a great experience for them.
Yeah, I think they enjoyed it. They watched a movie called Hong Kong Chungking Express. Have you heard of that? Something like that.
Sounds fake.
Anyway, Amber, Sean, Joe, if any of you want to,
I might take you up on that.
All right, we got to move this along because I'm being summoned to dinner at the outside.
Oh, right. Fire pits.
Sorry.
Fire pits. There's 2 fire pits and a fire.
I said fire pits, Sean.
Oh, I thought you said fire pit, and I
didn't.
corrected you to say fire pits. But if you said fire pits,
I'm furious right now.
Michael, did you say fire pits or fire pit?
I'm calling Jamie Big Jamie from now on, by the way.
Big Jamie.
Oh, my throat chakra's closing up. That's cool.
Joe, checking in.
Well, let's keep it brief.
We didn't even go to Joe yet.
Let's keep it brief. I've got nothing's going on. We're in the middle of pandemic. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere. Sorry, Jamie. I'm not. I don't have any bubbles. I don't have any pods. I'm freaking out. Parting shots.
That seemed like not enough.
All right.
But you have to go to dinner with the pits.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up your.
Do you like dinner, Michael? Do you like food? I know our lives are very different, Michael.
Do you people eat?
Yeah. You're very poor and underprivileged, and you're African American. Do you like food?
And the Oscar
I don't know. I come from a different background.
John, what if you met someone like Sandra Bullock in Idaho and like you become like Big Sean?
What if she blindsides you?
She blindsides you
I
and
think
saves
I got blindsided.
Big Sean.
Why don't you come to Thanksgiving with us this year?
Do you need another root canal, Big Sean?
King dog face.
I don't need not another root canal.
That is such a funny, just kind of a side plot, and someone's actually they blindside people for free food. Like, oh, I got a family across town. I'm blindsiding them. Never mind.
There's a scene where they go. There's a scene where they go out to dinner, and it's like him with the family. They go to this nice.
Love that we're in a rush to hurry. Wrap this up, but we're still talking about
they're in this nice restaurant, and then they leave, and he looks back through the window, and there's an African American guy clearing the table. The busboy is clearing the table.
He's on the wrong side of the class.
No. He goes back in and he talks to the guy, and they start hugging through the window. The family, she's like, "Oh, Michael sees someone he knows. He's hugging him." And so the two of them, Michael, the big guy, is hugging this other guy, and they're hugging. And he comes out, and she's like, "Michael, did you know that man?" And he's like, and then she says, "Michael, I said, did you know that man?" And he goes, "That's my brother."
God.
And she's like, and she goes,
That's the worst.
she goes, when was the last time you saw him? And he goes, she goes, Michael, I said, when was the last time?
Oh my God, does she have to repeat every line she has to him?
It's a 4-hour movie.
He goes, I don't know. We were little kids. I haven't seen him since then. Like, it was just like heaps and heaps of like, these people have it good. These people don't. So this person is going to help this person have it better. Anyway, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say.
I got to go. Go ahead.
I'll wrap it up by saying, because I think this is obviously the Blindside episode. I just want to say, and I love, how I love blowing smoke up Sean's ass, but
among other things,
we've talked about a lot.
I don't think.
Let's not get into our ride back from Phoenix, okay?
I don't think I'm the only one listening right now or watching right now. I still don't have a firm answer on that from Aaron. But
we're going to put out both. One is a podcast, one is a video online.
Okay.
But I will say this, like, Sean is a good enough actor that when he's recreating scenes of a terrible movie, I'm like, this doesn't seem so bad. Like,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I kind of want to watch The Blind Side tonight.
I mean, there's no bigger fan of a dramatic pause than me. And every one of those pauses, I was like, that guy sounded good. Like, by the way, I don't think that guy, I never saw like another 2 or 3 movies with that actor.
No, I didn't recognize him. I think his name was Lily Collins. Collins, you get in here. Now you get in here, Collins.
I'll just wrap up. I'll wrap up by saying this, and Sean has to go. I just wanted to. We're starting this new thing. Aaron is Brungard is our producer right now, and I think since it's the second one, maybe this is a tradition. But I just wanted to comment on Aaron's. It's not video of Aaron, so
he's less bored.
It's a picture of Aaron drinking a beverage through a straw, and behind him there's a meteor shower that's killing all the dinosaurs. And I feel like that's where we're at. Like, however Aaron picked this background for his little emoji guy,
pitch perfect.
That's where we're at. That's where I'm at. I hope everyone gets through the next 2 months safely.
It is a picture of an extinction level event.
Yes.
Which is what's going on in the world right now. We are once again extinguishing an entire species, which is our own species by our own choices. You're welcome.
Hey James, how you doing?
Stay tuned for episode 3.
That is a 50 cent piece in the throat.
All right, parting shots. Jamie.
Real quick, I don't have much time, but I got in the mail Monday. You can see this is the I don't know if that
mail, yeah.
That's your address.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I actually, Aaron, that's probably way too much work. But if you do have the capability for putting this video out on demand, to just take that off. But anyway, I got this in the mail. The return address is the same as mine, so there's no way of knowing where it came from. But inside was nothing but, and I can show this because there's nothing.
SpongeBob wallet.
It's a SpongeBob wallet.
It's one of those Velcro ones. Yeah.
It's not even Velcro.
Oh.
But that's it.
Is it because you keep losing your ID?
I don't know who it's from. There's no note. There's nothing in it but this. And so there's a mystery.
I love a fun mystery.
How do you feel about it? Just be, feel what you're feeling and let the feeling.
And while you do that, Jamie, share your screen and do some online banking.
All right.
We can. follow along.
SpongeBob, I've never really watched much of it. I mean, it seems cute enough, and but I was going down a Ween rabbit hole last week, a band called Ween that I like a lot of their music, but I didn't really know much about them. And I found out that one of their albums was an inspiration for SpongeBob. And I was talking about it with a friend. So SpongeBob was in the ether of my world, but I only shared it with an old friend of mine, and he did not send me the wallet.
That's who sent it.
He assures me it's not, but
he's lying. He's lying. Clearly,
I just want to put out there if any long shot listener sent this as a mystery, I'm trying to figure it out. And if anyone has any leads, send me an email, Jamie@DynastyTypewriter.
I'm glad you said that because I'm going to go next. And my parting shot is I just want to thank Frank Pulaski because Frank sent me a postcard, and I got just because I said something about how I was sending postcards before the election.
He's very sweet.
He was like, I just thought you might like getting a postcard in the mail, which was
he's the sweetest.
Really, really nice.
Mahalo.
So that's my parting shot, and I'm sticking to it. Joe, parting shots?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense just to finish it off with this was what I was going to drink during the show. I just got it today at the it's for anyone who's just listening, it's a club cocktail in a can, and it's Sex on the Beach. And I got it at the store that's just right next to my building, one of the few places I'll go to. And I toast everyone. I'm glad we did a second one.
Yeah, I got to say, I don't care what anybody says, Joe. You are nothing, not a class guy.
I've never had sex on the beach, but this is a sex.
What is it? Is it peach something? Coconut?
I can't read. Yeah.
Is there sand in there?
What does it taste like?
Is it just cum and sand in there?
Orange, peach, cranberry, cum, sand.
Alcohol.
Alcohol free.
It's not good, but I like it.
And that's my club.
You know what? It takes me back to a drive back from Phoenix to LA.
Amber, parting shots.
Yeah, I think since we last spoke, I had my first therapy session of my whole life. I used BetterHelp, which is like from hearing it advertised on podcasts so often, it finally the advertising worked. So I don't know if it's like full. I don't have I can't compare it against anything. So I don't know.
Welcome, Amber, and nice to meet you.
Well,
now, are you familiar with someone by the name of Jamie Flam? Because I'm Vicky's therapist also.
It felt like therapy light from my point of view, and it was nice. The lady was really sweet, but I think they specialize in like crisis management. And I started talking to them before the election, and I was having a lot of anxiety, but like the tips were, drink water and meditate. And I'm like, yeah, got it. I do those things. I think I need to like level.
Any ladders.
I need to level up.
Can I say one thing?
What?
I started actual therapy with a therapist at the beginning of the pandemic, like a month or two in, and she's great. But it wasn't. I think it was about 6 months in. So like a few weeks ago, it was like, because until then I was like, it's good to get things off my chest and talk about things. But like, the first time, like, she's been listening and taking notes, and like, she just connected like, and can actually say like, this is progress because when you were here, and like, oh my god. So
I think I need to go to real therapy. She dumped me. On our third session, it started, and she was like, "How you doing?" I was like, "I'm good," and she's like,
"You're not hydrated."
No, she said, She asked, "How are you?" And I said, "Good," because that's like no normal. Social contract. Like, I didn't
sincerity there. Yeah.
And then she's like, "Do you even need this?" And I was like, "I guess not."
She sounds terrible.
I mean, here's the thing: is
by the way,
therapists, and some of them have been terrible. So that happens sometimes,
Amber's not mentioning.
I felt like I was like, "Oh, I'm good." She said I was good.
Yeah.
Amber's not mentioning the TV on the ceiling that was playing The Blind Side through the whole session.
At least she didn't. At least she said, "How are you?" And she didn't say like, "How's your day going so far?" How are your plans for the rest of the day?
It sounds like a good breakup, Amber.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Can I say something real quick? I'm drinking water.
Good.
Not right now, but I have had.
Just like in general.
Yeah. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
We are back, baby. By the way, I should say this. I wanted to call this new show. This is a new show as far as I'm concerned. This is not just a long shot.
Oh yeah, what is the name of it?
I was voting for that we should call it the long shot : come hell or high water. Like that's, but I'm open to suggestion. So if any of you guys has a suggestion, or if anybody listening, because I'm into the idea that we now have, it's like the Fast and the Furious always has sequels, and the sequels all have another name. So I feel like we need another name for this because it's a sequel. It's number 2, right, Joe?
What about just a long shot, but
number 2.
Just come? Just no hell or high water.
I like come hell or high water. Real quick, I actually do want to say something real quick, just for posterity's sake of the podcast recording, because this is what makes us so special is that we went through almost 2 hours now, without actually saying this is the first recording we're doing after Joe Biden. I know it's kind of been mentioned at a glance, but at least now Joe Biden was elected president. So
I beg to differ. We still don't know what's going to happen. Nothing's been confirmed.
I'm just saying.
There's been no concession.
Can we just have a second of fun?
Thank you. I love fun.
By the way, and
I'm against it.
I know.
Before we go, I would like you to know that this entire time, I've had a card
in your
throat.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I don't do coin magic, but I do cards.
Sean, we're offering I don't know if you want to even take, but we're offering a magic class that starts in a couple weeks, 4 weeks, if you want to take it.
Who's teaching it?
Taylor Hughes, who's a great magician that we've worked with.
Let me think about it.
So, Sean, do you feel lighter?
What's that?
Do you feel lighter? Do you feel like you've somatically healed yourself?
No, and I'll tell you why. There's another one in there.
They're like the coins.
Yes.
The best thing would be if the two people the people that Sean's with, like, just came in behind him right now and just saw that he was like pulling cards out of his mouth.
First 3 adult friends.
What are you doing in there, Sean? We're getting pretty hungry down here.
Sorry, I got cards in my throat.
Even with these multiple fire pits, it's very cold outside.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been The Long Shot.
No.
Follow Joe on Twitter. Follow Jamie down the street. Follow
Twitter. I know my address now.
You know it's a new show when Sean plugs my Twitter. Thank you, Sean.
Have a great dinner, Sean. Go. Enjoy. Right. Be free. We'll talk next week.
We're going to do this. I'll see you guys again next week. We're going to do this again next week.
You're going to get sick of us.
I can't wait. All right.
Be safe, everybody.
Bye.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Congratulations, Aaron. We love you. The baby, not so much.
Bye.
But we love you.
Are we allowed to leave?
Bye. I don't know how this works. Who turns it off?
By the way, this part should be like, can we sell these parts as on our like Patreon? Can this be like a Patreon?
No, this is going to be the part where we're playing a Phil Collins song as we depart. Easy Lover.
No, well, I think we should do the one about homeless people.
Does The Blind Side have
What's
like a
homeless
theme song?
Another Day in Paradise.
The best part about this having a timer is we've literally done this for 47 seconds.